DeleteLawZ and Long Island Audit underperformed to sink market. We've been taking a good look at the markets for first 2 months of the year, and things are bad. Bad to the point where not even former heavyweight earners SeanPaul, Long Island Audit, Reyes and Jose, Chille, DeCastro may be able to bring things back from the brink. As of Monday morning, we've reached the 5th straight day of goose eggs with no donations observed for what feels like the 9th or 10th time this year. There's no interest in the vast majority of the campaigns we feature, and unless something shocking happens or we get an influx of new and interesting outrage to fuel donations, it will probably remain this way for the rest of the year. In the past, the market was fueled by outrage. First Amendment auditing really caught fire in the early 2020s when people were locked up due to the restrictions on life due to the pandemic. Viewers were angry and were interested in seeing individuals stand up to the government and get some payback for the oppression they felt. Back then, and even up to the start of 2024, people had disposable cash and were interested in supporting the entertainers they saw on YouTube and other platforms when they needed cash to fight the man. 2024 itself was a turning point for the industry that popped up around these entertainers. The tactics they used to abuse and humiliate police officers in the name of the First Amendment stopped working for the most part as the police finally caught on to the games they were playing with the police for viewership numbers and internet fame. Police were holding back on their negative responses to auditors, ignoring insults and provoking activities, and not giving the reaction needed for a video to be successful. Simply showing up and screaming, "Hey pigs, you can't stop me from filming," then yelling "dismissed" if the police failed to make an arrest, no longer works to solicit a response in most cases. Police also seem more willing to make an arrest only when they have a solid case, and more auditors are feeling the pinch as they face real jail time for their auditing actions. This has had a significant impact on those who we follow. Jose, Chille, DeCastro, after going to jail last year, even if it was overturned on appeal, he lost his mojo. He treats police officers respectfully in his interactions with them, and he seems scared to death of going back to jail despite what he says when he's screaming about police in his studio. He now draws between 100 to 300 people to all of his live streams. Craig Hendry, a DeCastro protege, he's currently sitting in jail for felony stalking charges. He has 3 other batches of charges set to go to trial this year in relation to his auditing. As the prison has apparently cracked down on his audio addresses, none have been released since January. He no longer has a way to directly appeal for money and relies on DeCastro for commissary funds and the ability to feed his family. Press with rancor. Another DeCastro protege apparently serving time for a felony conviction last fall. No longer audits. Had a falling out with DeCastro after the conviction and may or may not have been stuck with $38,000 in legal bills DeCastro took on, but never paid. Christopher Direct D. Ruff. Once upon a time, Direct D was a prolific auditor and police watcher. Nowadays, not so much. He has several warrants for his arrest and spends most of his time either fighting people on Twitter, DeCastro is a frequent target, or spending endless hours live streaming from his trailer. Floyd Wallace recently shut down his GoFundMe to raise money to go to Thailand or the Philippines. A week later, announced he was fundraising to go to Thailand or the Philippines. Is back in the United States facing one last legal case before he's free to return to auditing. Will he, now that he's set to end his last lengthy legal struggle? We're meh on this one, as he's more known for his sex tours these days. Christopher Denver Metro Audis Cordova got convicted for doing stupid things at a Social Security office. Did a handful of days in jail and is on probation. He's currently claiming his main channel has been shadow banned into oblivion and reposting his old videos on his Denver Metro Audits 2.0 channel. Has done a single recent audit of a traffic stop, lost most of his mojo, and got out of there without being arrested. SeanPaul, Long Island Audit, Reyes. Out of all of them, the king of audits still goes out regularly to instigate in New York State. However, no longer directly provokes with slurs or curses, and when he does, he usually has a money-making lawsuit ready to be filed, along with a new GoFundMe to go with it. He's on a major losing streak in court and has so many lawsuits right now that we can't even keep them straight. Out of all of the auditors listed, only Reyes has shown that he can draw people in to donate to his GoFundMe on a regular basis, until the rest get a clue, or until someone does something to bring auditing back into mainstream news coverage. The market will continue to be the end of goose eggs for most of each week.
Journalism is not free. Both ReallyCoolSite.org's daily newspaper and our daily newscasts are funded by your continuing donations and what we make from our YouTube AdSense revenue each month. If you'd like to contribute to help us keep the lights on, eating, keeping the cats fed, and writing news stories to feature on both the newspaper and newscast each day, we do have a GoFundMe set up at the address on screen right now. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch the advertisements on our videos, like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in.